Okay. I believe that we are live on Twitch and YouTube right now. Yeah. You are, I think basically everyone should be able to hear me. I believe a brief oh God got out just as I clicked start and before I managed to click mute Discord. So that's how we're starting this stream, which I feel was appropriate. We should have captions as well. Cool. Okay. Someone wants to double check YouTube and make sure that's working. I will put my face up on screen. Hey, has been Wizards. Thank you. Hopefully this is fun. Hello. I am your GM, and I am lower than I thought I was, and so my screen is down here. Hi. I am your GM for today. My name is Ken, and my job is game. Hi, welcome to Lore Plays. We are basically playing through the Alien RPG. We're playing through the little short mini episode in the bottom, basically that's in the back of the Alien RPG book. Last week, if you were here for that stream, we basically planned through the Alien RPG. Basically, this campaign, Hope's Last Day, using Lorelink, and that's what you see directly below me in that window there. That is Lorelink. What you are seeing to the right of me is Foundry, basically being run through Forge, VTT, which is where we are actually doing the game so that everybody can actually see the board. But as a GM, Lorelink is what I use to organize and put together my campaigns. We are basically that is the purpose and point of this basically of this company and the stream is that we are putting together a GM toolkit so that all your notes, scattered as they may be, whether in basically in pre-made adventures or your own worlds that you've created, are actually all in one place, and you can link them all together. So you can see I've got players set up here, I've got all the locations set up for all of this. And so when these players go through and whenever they do something that's going to, of course, throw things completely for a loop, I will be able to adjust and move. I've got the ability to quickly create things and take notes, and all of that hopefully will become apparent. But I will go ahead and let all these people who you can see talk. And somebody disappeared out of Discord, and so one of our things disappeared. Mike, I hope your video comes back because, yep, there we go. Good. Awesome. I'm using video capture, and I'm using video capture. So basically, if anybody moves something in or screen capture, so if anyone moves something in Discord, their face just disappears. It's great. It's wonderful. It's fine. All right, let me go ahead and put people on so people can introduce themselves. Go ahead and start with you, Luna. Hi, welcome to the stream.
Hey, thanks for having me. My name is Luna. My pronouns are they, she, and today I will be playing Sunny Sig, who is the lab technician.
Awesome. Mike, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello. My name is Michael Dowd, and my pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Morgan Hirsch, the heavy machinery close combat guy. You know me.
Awesome. And 20.
Hello, my name is 20. My pronouns are she, her. Today I'm doing the role of Hannah Singleton, who is the pilot of the group.
All right, awesome. So, and basically, because this is a group adventure, the remaining characters will be played by me as NPCs, and so that means you also have Holoroid, an android, who is essentially the we'll describe him as basically the guy who's running around and basically taking care of all the little things and details and things like that on this. Basically, and he's the mechanic. He keeps everything up and working. Morgan, you've probably worked with him at least once or twice. Also here is Janice McWhirr, who is the union organizer. Basically, she's the Colonial Administration union organizer. So she's basically the highest person in charge here who isn't belonging to basically to one of the corporations or the actual colonial government authority. So she's basically, you all know her as harsh, but some of you might suspect there might be more to it, but she's not going to let you know that. And basically attempting to say the fact that she might be soft on any one of you is likely going to end badly. So those are the last two who are going to be here. So apologies for basically I'm doing a little bit of cleaning up on the last second here on the stream. Whoop, let me put that in there. But as I do that, so we are playing the Alien RPG. For those who are not familiar with the Alien RPG, it is published by Free League Publishing. It uses the Mutant Year Zero system. So basically, if you have played those games at all, this system will be somewhat similar. The big thing that it adds is it's dealing with the alien art, basically the alien movies and things like that. And so it adds a stress system in. And what that means is throughout the course of this game, various events and other things are going to cause either individuals or the group as a whole stress. Basically, things are going to go badly, things are going to go wrong, they're going to encounter things which are going to kind of push their limits. What that means is they're going to get stress dice added to their die pool. This means the fact that you are going to roll more dice on your skills. Congratulations. That's more chances to succeed. Awesome. We love that. Stress brings out the best in people and it can actually push people. The downside to that is the fact that those dice that you roll, in addition to having a success effect on a 6, also have a failure mechanism on a 1 known as panic. If you ever roll a 1, you'll be forced to roll a panic roll. And that basically will start off relatively minor, and it's a roll a d6 and add your stress level to it. So as you do that, it will slowly start to creep up, and will start on things like just a nervous twitch. Maybe you'll shout or scream or something like that, and then it's going to start moving into more and more panicked reactions, up into including berserking, going catatonic, etc., etc. Note the fact that these effects can also cause others around you to be basically stress to increase, and also others around you panic to it. Basically, also could just flat out cause others to panic. So you can have cascading situations. So stress is good, but it's also pushing your luck. There are ways you can get out of it. In non-stressful situations, you can take a break, you can breathe for a little bit. However, note the fact that the game is all about keeping you right on that edge, and so some of those situations may be far and few between. There's the name I was looking for. Okay. All right, so what brings these characters together on this day? So we start off, basically welcome to Hadley's Hope, jointly funded by Weyland-Yutani and United America, has a them and us feel to it, with any visiting corporate folk looking down their noses at the colony's laborers. Despite this, the colony has been developing well. There's opportunity of plenty and risk of plenty too. 4 days ago, a wildcatter named Russ Jordan was brought back infected with something. He died and some snake-like parasite disappeared into the guts of the base. Security had no luck catching the thing, and somehow more people were infected. Rumor has it that some of them may have died, and there are more of the snake things than Supervisor Simpson is admitting to. Simpson spoke over the intercoms, calling for calm, as he often does in any situation. Basically, crisis or not, though, you have a job to do. 24 hours ago, you headed out on a maintenance run to Processor 9, happy to leave the base until the crisis blows over. 10 kilometers out, Singleton's tractor gave up the ghost. A nasty mechanical crunch told you it wasn't going any further. Calls back to Hadley's Hope, got a cursory response. You were told to wait, and they'd get to your little problem when they had the time. While you waited, you got to talking about the crisis at the Weyland-Yutani corporate shuttle that arrived just before you left. The shuttle carried an inspection team led by company agent Miranda Reynolds and her chief scientist, Theodora Comiskey. Stig relayed something that he'd overheard. It's up to you whether or not Sig is actually male or not. Let me know if you want to have whatever pronouns you want to have for Sig. But I'm basically the base description as read has them as basically he, him.
A non-binary idol is fine by me.
Okay. A hushed conversation about the shuttle became quickly basically something they'd overheard. A hushed conversation about the shuttle being quickly and quietly readied for departure. Reynolds and Comiskey are likely the only two who can authorize its use, and the only two with the access keycards needed to use it. For all you know, it was Reynolds who ordered Jordan out there in the first place. It's not right for Weyland-Yutani reps just to skip out and leave you, the workers, to clean up this bloody mess. If things go bad, why shouldn't you get those keycards and get away instead? A day has passed and you've still heard nothing. All further attempts to contact Hadley's Hope have been fruitless. No one is coming to help. The only communication you pick up on are garbled, panicked even. There's no option to walk back and see what the hell is going on. So you end up walking back towards Hadley's Hope. Basically, approaching it, you do as you approach the western entrance, you don't see any other signs of any activity outside of the base. You do pass a couple of additional tractors, which have gone out, but they also seem to have broken down at some point. Basically, it looks like some mess and other stuff which has been spilled on them and things like that. And it looks like they're just kind of a mess. You make it to the western lock, and you make it in, and you make it inside, and as basically it becomes clear as soon as you get inside that something is off, something isn't right. Basically, the base itself, basically, there's no one there to greet you. There's nobody comes over the radio to ask why you're approaching on foot as opposed to coming in on the tractor. Normally, at this point, someone would have been yelling at you for leaving a tractor out, but you get none of that. What you do get is, as soon as you get in, basically, you kind of stagger in, weary from your long walk, and you can hear a distant voice talking over the over the intercom. It's obscured by static, but you can make out the following message. This is an emergency message. All colonists must immediately assemble in the main storeroom on the sub-level for safety. This is an emergency message. All colonists must immediately assemble on the main storeroom on the sub-level for safety. It repeats again a couple more times and then cuts off of electronic screech. Any attempts to use the intercom don't raise anything. After a bit, basically the silence kind of gathers on all of you. And then you suddenly hear something echoing through the ventilation shaft. It's footsteps running something, and then it's a gunshot, and then a scream. And that's it. Could have come from anywhere inside the base. The ventilation shafts echo everywhere. But that's it. So, because of this situation, everyone's going to go to your character sheet and go ahead and add stress 1. As this situation is already kind of starting to freak you out.
You said the main storeroom was on what level?
You know for a fact that the sub basement is where the housing and storeroom is.
Okay.
That's not my character. I picked the wrong one.
Okay, you said stressed. I see panicked. Freezing, exhausted.
It is up on the first line. That's right. The android does not have stress for obvious reasons. Pop those out.
Oh, I see. It's at the top. I see it.
Yes.
Stress 1.
Yeah, basically, click the stress button will actually trigger the panic reaction. So don't roll that.
Just hit the plus button, right?
Correct.
Got it.
Uh-oh.
Make sure
Got
your
it.
stress level is still at 1 and not now been bumped up by you clicking the panic.
Yeah, it's just 1.
Okay. So you find yourself at this point, basically at the Western Lock. You know the fact that there are basically essentially there are there's maintenance shafts and things like that all over this base that can get you up and down throughout the base as you need it. For example, the room that you are in currently does have ladder access down to the sub basement. From directly below, there's a ladder access in this room. You know that if you continue going forward, you're going to end up in the commercial offices, and then there's the corporate offices inside, basically past that point.
Just as a reminder, Mark, we won't be able to interact with the map until you unpause the game.
Correct. 1 second. Let me do that.
Okay.
There we go.
This ladder down.
Are these just a clarifying? Are
Mhm.
these circles that are moving around just mouse cursors?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Also, as a note, someone has in their inventory a motion tracker. And there actually is an actual in-game, basically in Forge. I have a way of actually using a motion tracker if you wish to actually deploy
Ooh,
it.
That's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the Forge version of this has some really nice
cutting torch. Ooh,
features.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, question.
Mm-hmm.
You said we heard footsteps in a ventilation shaft?
Basically, you heard footsteps echoing through the ventilation stuff. Okay, panic. Someone was panicked running, then a gunshot, and then a scream, and then nothing.
Okay. So they didn't necessarily pass right by where we are. We just heard them via the ventilation shaft?
Yep, the ventilation shafts basically they kind of crisscross throughout the entire base, and so it is nearly impossible for you to tell exactly where basically where that was in the base. It could have been immediately outside your door. It could have been basically down a level. It could have been up a level.
Okay.
If we get back to the lab, we can seal ourselves in. And I've got lots of equipment down there that we could probably use to figure out what the hell is going on, assuming that the inspection team hasn't completely taken everything from it like they were threatening to earlier.
Basically, as you were
works.
coming in, you did note the fact that the shuttle is still on the landing pad.
Oh, great.
Ooh,
So they're still
on this
messing
level?
with my stuff.
That was basically on your
Is
walk
that on this-
in. Basically,
Got
the air traffic control is outside.
Got it.
Basically, it is just outside the main base.
So it has not left.
It has not left. But only 2 people have the ability to actually authorize that.
Are any of them us?
No.
Oh,
That'd be too easy.
right.
Mm-hmm.
The only 2 people who have keys were Reynolds and Comiskey.
Okay.
Theodore Comiskey, who is the lead scientist, and Reynolds, who is the corporate exec.
we've got a hallway, a stairway, and a doorway right here.
Yeah. Pretty much, basically, your characters are
Do we know-
familiar. Your characters are familiar with the run of the base. So if you're like, we want to go to X location or Y location, I can basically, I will give you how to get there. You basically, the
Okay.
only reason why you cannot see it currently is because you don't have visibility to what its current
Yes.
condition is.
Of course. I'm fine following you to the lab. If that's where you want to go.
Yeah, it's fine by me.
Okay. So heading to the lab means that you're going to go to med lab or the geology labs. I think that if I remember correctly, Sunny, they work with they work in the med lab. So you're likely going to the med labs. Okay.
Good, because I can check on a few things while I'm there.
Okay. That is up a level. That's in the E2 block, which the blocks are basically B block is in the center, A block is to the north, D block is to the east, E block is to the south, C block is to the west. Corporates, they don't have any clue how to number or calculate things. You know that there is an
Yeah,
access
I
code.
lost. I was like
Typical.
gonna take notes on that, but I lost it.
Basically, you are heading to the south, basically the southernmost block. Basically, the blocks are essentially laid out in a cross shape, or basically a plus sign, to be more precise. So, E is the southernmost block. So you know that there is an access ladder basically just directly ahead of you in this hallway that will take you up a level. If you want to go out there.
Head to the right or left or forward,
Mhm.
like door to the left, like which ahead?
Basically, sorry. Basically the ping, right click. Is right click ping here? You're just not going to let me ping today. Okay. Being okay. So basically, you know that if you basically, I will start moving. Not Hannah, but where's Janice? So you head down. If you head this way, you will start heading down towards the if you're curious what those two symbols are, oops, I did not want to quick push. Hope I didn't actually push something. Oop. That basically the 3 dots is an intercom. 4 dots is the intercom. Yep, there it just decided to go. Ignore that. And the other is an access terminal. So you are passing an access terminal as you continue on down this hallway.
An access
Okay.
terminal, you say? Like something that maybe would have video and some kind of reports of what's been going on while we've been trying to get back to base?
It would likely have reports and things like that. It would likely not have security video. As basically that is likely locked to the comms, basically the ops area. Like
What did you say the? Sorry.
I was just going to say the ops area, however, is near the med lab if you want to go there.
2 birds, 1 stone sounds good to me.
Yeah, we should probably check in with ops. What is the 4 dot thing again?
The 4 dot thing is an intercom. That's essentially what you
Thank you.
heard squawking the emergency report
Yep.
earlier. So you make your way over here. And this is where the access ladder is.
To go up.
Yep. Basically, again, something that is definitely striking all of you as you continue through here is everything is just quiet. Like, other than the machinery which keeps the base operational, you're not hearing anything. There are no people. There are no reports. There's not even not footsteps or something like that. Normally, this base is so echoey and full of noise just because it is so made
Where
of
is
scrap metal and
everybody?
things like that. It is just utterly empty at this point.
Not to mention McWhirr's not bitching at me for once, so something's definitely off.
Give me a reason, Sonny, and I will. But yeah, we probably should just keep our heads down and
Okay.
keep going.
Before Hannah climbs this ladder, she'll pull out the motion tracker that she has
Okay.
because it's too quiet. There should be people. Where is everyone?
Yeah.
It's a great question. Also, let me know
motion
if we pass any
tracker.
place that might have weapons, because I'm noticing a distinct lack of weaponage on my person.
Okay, can you see that? I don't know if you can actually see the motion tracker, if that actually pops up on.
Who is you?
Oh, I can show to all players. I could show to 20. There we go.
Yes, I now can see it. That is
Ooh,
so
nice.
neat.
For the others, if you want to
How
see
do I
it briefly,
read it though?
you're the blob
Oh,
in the
neat.
center.
I'm the blob in the
Ooh.
center.
Basically, but or rather, you know that you and your friends are the blob in the center.
Okay. And is up
That's cool.
in front of me?
This is basically this is only going to give you stuff on a basically on a horizontal plane. We'll hand
Okay,
wave
so
whether
it
or not
only-
something is actually above you. It's not
So I
basically
can't point it up and see.
you point it up and you're not going to see. Basically, I will tell you if you point it up, you're not going to see anything.
Okay. Okay. So the blob in the center is all 5 of us?
Mm-hmm. As you all kind of shift around and everyone kind of moves around and looks at you.
Okay, so just if I see something in the lower right quadrant, where is that in relation to the direction my character is facing?
Assume the fact that basically for the purposes of this, basically for this app, it is always putting you at basically it's always assuming your character is basically at the center, and that is basically to the basically that is going to be to the southeast, assuming north is up and west is to the west. Basically west is to your left currently. So that is to
So
the
north
south.
on the motion track. Sorry, go ahead.
Up is north on the motion tracker.
And up is north on the map too. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I do see something, but it's not moving.
It is moving, that's why it's showing up. Basically, it is kind of slowly, basically it is slowly moving.
Okay, I see something moving slowly, but I can't really tell which direction it's going.
It seems kind
The
of
question is,
aimless.
do we move toward it or away from it?
That's a great question. It's on this level. If we go up, it won't be on our level anymore.
Well, if it's one of the inspection team scientists, they can fend for themselves as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Well, let's climb up then.
Okay. You put away the motion tracker.
Yeah.
And we will move you up a level. Hang on, you're going to be blind briefly. Yeah, that should be everybody. Basically, you are now in basically You are now in basically C block on level 2. This is the administration offices.
All right, let's walk through here.
So going through.
Morgan will attempt to elbow his way to the front of the line. Will you let him or push him backwards?
Hirsch, you really think you want to go first? You don't have a weapon.
Cracks his knuckles.
Hannah,
I got these, don't I?
Hannah pulls out her pistol.
All right.
If I may, says Holyrod, I do believe that in most dangerous situations, it is considered acceptable for myself to go first, as I am the most expendable member of the group, according to the corporate's payroll system.
Don't put much stock in that, but all right.
Hannah just gestures wordlessly
Okay.
I'm not going to argue
allow
with anyone.
them to go forward,
Okay.
but follows with her pistol.
Okay. You're making your way through basically the ever-present and dreaded corporate offices of Wayland Lutani are located here. They were supposed to be the nicest part of the colony once finished, with large windows looking out at a beautiful terraformed landscape. Now they just kind of look gloomily out over a rocky, unfinished landscape.
Sounds about right.
As you make your way through, you will pass basically the office. Basically, you will pass the office for basically what used to be Al Simpson's office before he got booted out for the inspection team's Miranda Reynolds, the corporate agent, took over. You note that the door to her office is currently closed. And that's the one directly in front of you. Basically to the
one in
to the
front
east
of
to
Luna?
the east of Luna. Yes.
Got it. Do we hear anything in there?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, what about firing up the motion tracker?
Sure, I'll take that out.
Okay.
Figure out what we got on this level.
You guys heard that story about that parasite, right?
I told them to be more careful. I told them what to do and how to handle it, but nobody listens to me. Everyone thinks they know better than me. Like I haven't been studying this.
Wait, that was real? I just assumed that was some sort of trick to get us to put our heads down. Shut up.
I
I mean,
don't
you could
know
be
if it's
forgiven for
real,
thinking that.
but I don't think we should rule anything out either. We haven't seen another soul.
It's a little unusual, basically Janice kind of says, but you know, corporate execs are corporate execs. They're doing their own weird thing. It is kind of weird that they showed up out of nowhere, but kick poor Simpson's out of his office.
Can we get the motion tracker out?
Oh, I forgot to. I pulled it up, but I forgot to give you sight to it. There you go.
Thank you.
In addition to the blobs you see on there, you will also you will see something basically quickly heading away from the administrator's office, but it
The
is
closed
not
door in front of us.
Yes, but
Okay.
but as far as you know, there isn't any other exit from the administrator's office.
Something's running away from the office?
And also you have two other
Maybe we should
basically
hop in there.
the one to the northeast is just kind of going back and forth. The
Okay.
one to basically, and the one to the furthest east is kind of just going in a circle.
There's two figures moving in there.
I think we should go on in.
Hirsch, you know you're like a brother to me, right?
Yeah.
But that you see two things that we don't know what they are moving on the other side of a closed door.
Yeah.
We can't find anyone else in the base, and your first instinct is to run in there barehanded and just figure it out as we go.
Well,
Sounds
we gotta
about
find the
right for
people.
Hirsch. Says Janice.
You're taller
More
than me, so
people,
you're a
right?
fine
More
meat
people's
shield.
better. Oh,
Sonny, I appreciate your points. What do you think,
I've got-
McWhirr?
I mean, I'd like to get
So
some. Go ahead. Yes.
I was going to say, so who has weapons besides Hannah? Anybody, or is Hannah the only one who has a weapon?
point to
Holyrood
my belt.
Holyrood
I got
does
this
not
cutting
because
torch here.
synthetics aren't allowed to have them. Yeah, but Janice does have a bolt gun and a knife.
So we have a bolt gun, a knife, and my pistol.
I've got a cutting torch.
Let's start
It's
with
fine.
this.
And I got the good Lord on my side. This will be fine.
I'm not certain. Basically, are you guys thinking that the inspection team killed everybody here? I mean, I know Wayland Yutani is a little bit, bloodthirsty, but that seems a bit much. Unless you're
God only
worried about
knows what they've
unless you're
done.
worried about parasites.
Hannah will start by just reaching out and pounding on the door. Is anyone in there?
It echoes noisily all around you. And basically, you swear that basically if you
Sir-
still have the motion tracker up, you swear that at least the dot to the east pauses briefly.
The one that was going in a circle?
Uh-huh.
But no voice, no response.
No response.
Hannah will gently test. Wait a minute. Is this like a door with a doorknob, or are these keypads? Like, how does this door open?
It is a door with a doorknob. It has
Okay.
a lock on the inside, but corporate's not spending that much on a space base. On a quality base like this for something as unimportant as an administrator's office.
So Hannah will gently test the doorknob to see if it even moves.
It opens under your grasp.
So she's not, to be clear, opening the door. She just wants to know if the door is locked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, one of the dots in there stopped when I pounded on the door, but
That's
nothing
not the ones
else.
with none of the dots on that map are currently ones on the other side of that door.
Oh,
Basically,
okay.
as far as you know, they are all farther away than that.
Okay. Well, as far as I could tell, there's no one moving in there. I didn't understand that.
Sorry. Yeah, basically,
That's
the
okay.
dot that had been in that room left in a way you didn't think possible.
Okay. All right. Well, then Hannah makes sure the others know that. Sorry, I misunderstood. All right. Let's go in.
Okay. Opening the
She'll
door,
open the door.
you basically opening the door and going on in. You can move your characters in that direction. But basically, this is obviously the office of Al Simpson. It's covered with all of his pictures, his awards, all of his prized possessions from his time, basically from his time in the Marines to his time here in the base, or to grandkids and family members he has, pictures and other things. Basically United America flag is proudly hung on at least one corner of the wall. Currently, though, it's Miranda Reynolds, basically at the office, and she seems to still be here. Though basically, she seems to she's in the chair facing away from you, basically towards the back wall with her head kind of down. and oddly, it basically looks like a ventilation grill has been battered free, and basically the vent itself is twisted, almost as if whatever went through basically could barely fit.
Hannah gestures toward that and says, that must be how that figure was leaving. It's the only other way out of here.
Doesn't seem like a way that a normal human being would leave a room.
I concur.
Maybe a worm, though.
Oof.
Or whatever that thing is.
All right,
Suddenly
Luna,
that
I'll
seems
pay a
more
little more
credible
attention.
than...
Yeah.
Yeah. How would we refer to this Miranda person? Would we refer to her by first name?
Reynolds, corporate, basically, she is a corporate agent. She does not have an official title in any sort of basically in any sort of administration offices, basically outside of the fact that she is a corporate agent. So Reynolds is what everyone has referred to her, basically referred to her as.
Okay. So Hannah will walk over to wherever she is and just say, Reynolds, you all right?
Okay, so you're walking around the desk because she's at the desk, basically chair back facing away from that towards the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
She'll walk at least to the side of the desk so she can
Okay.
peer around and see what's going on.
What you will see is the fact that her face and her neck are battered and almost gone.
Oh, Jesus!
At a stress.
Oh, no. Is that everyone, I assume?
Anyone who is in the room, essentially, yes, because I'm going to
Yep.
assume everyone is
Got
going
it.
to discover this.
Oh. Ugh.
What the hell did that?
I think y'all already know the answer.
Hannah looks up at the vent. Keeps her gun ready.
Yeah.
I think we should progress with all speed to the lab.
I mean, how bad do y'all really want to know for sure what got to Reynolds?
I mean,
It,
I'd like answers, but more importantly, I'd like it to not happen to us.
I was gonna say, if Hirsch, you're big and burly, if you wanted to take her with us to the lab, I can set about.
Oh, God. Is there a tarp or anything in here to wrap her up?
I mean,
Come on.
depends on how patriotic you feel.
Not that patriotic.
Come on, Hirsch, you're a Marine.
I
You've been
am.
through worse.
You're right.
If basically, Holarod will point to the desk and say, "There seems to be something blinking." And indeed, looking at the
What?
desk, covered basically, initially covered, basically missed because it's covered in blood, is a small comms device with a blinking light on it.
we should probably take that
Got
with
it.
us.
Yeah, let's check that out. I've actually got 3 points in Comtech, so I might be able to help us figure that out. Can just
All right. So,
pull my sleeves down over my hands and kind of start digging through stuff to get to it.
so you mentioned that there's a flag in here. I'm going to roll the body up in it and over the shoulder.
Okay.
Thanks, Hirsch.
You got it.
You start to hear a rattling sound in the ventilation shafts, echoing
Hannah
through.
will put the motion. No, that's not right. Hannah will watch the motion tracker and also have her gun pointed at the ventilation shaft. Upon hearing that, where
Okay.
is the ventilation shaft in the room?
It is basically just over, basically just about north. Basically, it is north of where Hollyrod is right now. I'll use that as
All right,
my
that
pings
corner.
have
Got it.
failed me for some reason. Where's pings? Can I turn pings on? Player. Okay. Oh, it's left click. Okay.
Okay.
You just don't want to ping. That's okay. All right. So basically, yeah, you'll hear kind of a rattling noise coming through that, and you'll see something moving on the motion tracker.
Toward us?
In a roundabout sort of way, yes.
I think we should get out of here. Grab that comms device. Let's go.
All right, I got it. I'm going to shove it in my lab coat pocket if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. You want to keep basically to reach the med labs, you're going to want to keep going straight. And then basically you're going to end up heading basically and then head east from there.
So straight down and east at the fork?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
20, are you carrying both the gun and the motion tracker at the same time?
Yes, because it's a pistol, so I can operate it one-handed.
Okay. It's a little awkward because the motion tracker isn't exactly lightweight.
No, but I mean, if you're telling me I can't,
No, I'm not telling you you can't. I'm telling you that it's
Okay.
awkward.
that's fine.
Meaning that in a combat situation, it may
I might
have
need to drop one.
Uh-huh.
All right, heard.
Well, theoretically, in a combat situation, the motion tracker will become significantly less important.
Yeah, for sure.
Is this door closed?
Yes, it is currently closed. It is kind of this one is actually more like an airlock type system where you have to actually interact with it to get it to open.
Is this the lab?
No, this is the exit from the administrative office block.
Okay.
So if you left click
Well,
on
if
that,
Get to
Hannah
the
can
lab.
open it, she will.
okay, if you left click on it, you should be able to open it.
Okay. What's in front of me?
Another door. You're kind of in the sections that are kind of between the blocks, so you're in kind of a mess of corridors. Basically, continuing to head east is where you want to go if you want to get to the med labs. Going north at this point just takes you to another access ladder that'll take you back down to level 1.
Okay. Is anything, as I'm moving, is anything moving toward us?
Something popped into the administrator's office. And you can see that there is something up ahead moving in the command. Basically, the next section you're going to, which is the command center, not the command center, but the the command offices, aka just meeting areas and things like that, also seems to have something moving in it. So that one just seems to be pacing rather than actively moving like the other one was.
Okay. How close are the rest of you to me?
It's like Hollyrod basically, unless otherwise stopped, will generally tend to be slightly ahead. Janice will
Okay.
position herself in the center and is definitely giving worried looks kind of around and basically giving annoyed glare to anybody who kind of basically lags behind any more than a few steps. Basically, she'll be yelling at people and getting basically not yelling, but basically kind of basically making frustrated noises and gesturing at people.
Well, McWare, if you're so confident in your abilities here, please feel free to go ahead of me. I don't mind hanging out here at the back. Better you than me.
I'm fine with wherever. I just think we should all just keep moving, and I don't think anybody should go off on their own little mission at this point.
I'll tell you a mission you can go on.
Yeah, I bet
Hey,
you
can
can.
we focus, please?
Sorry, Hannah.
Hey, there's movement ahead. How close? Can I tell how close it is?
It
Is that
is.
2.83 meters correct?
Let me check. I don't think it is. I think that's you're the closest movement, which is, it's 17 meters.
Okay. There's movement ahead in the next compartment. It's
Basically,
like
you'll
17 meters.
you'll be leaving basically kind of the between area between blocks C and B. You're in the connecting area between the blocks at this point.
Okay.
Colony essentially is just a series of blocks stacked down and jumped.
Got it. So as far as this motion detector is showing me, there's nothing directly on the other side of this door.
No, the motion detector is basically the room that basically the next room is kind of open. And so it is showing you the fact basically it's kind of a barracks type situation, and then basically immediately on the other side of this door is a common area.
Okay.
And there are individual bunk rooms beyond that, but it's a small common area for the command crew.
Okay. Is this a airlock door or a handle door?
This is an airlock again.
Okay.
You also know that basically this is the command crew, which means it also has the armory and other things like that in the area.
Okay. And no movement in this immediate room. Okay.
Now there is movement. There's something walking
Oh.
around in the common area as far as you could tell.
I misunderstood you. Okay. There's something moving on the other side of this door. Up toward the other end of the
Fine.
common area.
Well, I guess
Unless I missed. Sorry.
we've got to get that way, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we
Basically
kick it down. I'm not sure.
the med lab is directly south of the command area. Command crew quarters.
Got it.
We're almost there.
Yeah, let's get there.
All right. I'm opening the door and going in.
Okay. Basically opening the door. Basically your yep. Oh, wait. Figures. Yeah, no, that's C2. I want B2. Boop. Basically, actually, that's what happens. Basically, sorry, go back slightly, rewind a little bit. Basically, attempting to open the door, you find that it is locked.
Okay.
Of course.
This looks like an emergency lockdown type lock. There's a bright red light on it.
Would there be a way to override it from one of the admin offices at one of the terminals?
You think that you could probably do it. It's going to be hard, but you could probably do it, Sonny. It's a hard basically it's a hard, which means -2 Comtech roll.
I mean,
Is there another way around to the med lab?
Likely if the entire command, basically if the ops is in lockdown, all of the doors into this area are locked.
Well, crap. I guess it's on you, Sonny.
I've been paying as much
I'm
attention
not
to
too
the chat
worried
as I
about
should.
it.
Hey, Phoebe.
So am I able to like try to Oh, you know what, actually? I just remembered something.
Mm-hmm.
Can I check out that thing that was flashing on Reynolds' desk that I put in my pocket earlier?
Mm-hmm. Basically, it is a comm unit, basically cleaning it off a little bit. The light indicates, basically like most technology, it indicates the fact that it wants you to pay attention to something. In this case, it seems to have several messages, all of which are listed as being from, I just forgot her name, from Comiskey.
Mm-hmm. To Reynolds?
Assuming this is Reynolds' comm device, yes.
Maybe there's something important on here that'll help us.
It's mostly just communications, so the best you can get out of it is you can go through the messages, all of which basically playing them, it's just a frustrated noise and then a click.
Ugh. Thanks for nothing, I guess.
You can call back if you wish.
Maybe
she's got some, or she or he has got some information for us.
I'm fine with it. Let's go ahead and call it back.
Okay. It buzzes slightly for basically once, twice. What? Comiskey? Morgan? Basically, not Morgan. Sorry, got the wrong name.
Isn't it Miranda?
Miranda. Yeah, Miranda.
No, it's Sunny. We're here at Hadley's Hope.
What?
What's going on?
That? How? What? Like this is the most out of sorts you have ever heard Comiskey at this point. She is just kind of flailing at words. There are long pauses. She's just kind of stumbling over, and she slowly seems to come into some kind of coherence. It's like, I'm in the med lab. I'm currently in quarantine. It's locked from the other. It's locked currently. So I think they went into lockdown, and that locks the quarantine door. So
Yes.
that means I'm kind of stuck in here currently. So if you could make your way here, or basically, are you okay? Is everything all right out there? No problems, I hope.
Well, technically, we've got Reynolds with us.
Oh, good. What are you calling?
Stuck? Mechanical failure?
Quarantine. The doors, the lockdown. I guess basically it makes sense that in an emergency lockdown situation, the quarantine doors would lock. Right. Yes, that makes perfect sense. That is probably what happened. Sorry, I'm a little out of sorts. It's fine. Just yeah. So
Yeah.
if Reynolds is basically,
It's not just you.
if Reynolds is there, can I speak to her?
She's a little wrapped up right now.
Oh, okay.
Can I make an observation roll to see if
Yeah, is she
She-
telling the truth?
this sounds
I mean,
fishy?
basically, yes, it's got to be, again, rolls are only for things which are really pushing it, basically really stressful because you can trigger
Okay.
a panic reaction. In this particular case, yes, you could tell the fact that she is very obviously out of sorts and not communicating properly. This isn't basically, she is 100% holding something back and not telling you everything, but this is also the most out of sorts you have ever actually basically ever heard her basically if heard her. Normally she has been basically, when she showed up, she was straight laced, she went through, she took over the lab, she knew what she was doing. And basically she was very clearly had a mission, was there to get through it, and was at best, at worst, the most emotion you got out of her was she was very definitely excited to be there. Something basically, it was an opportunity, a chance, basically a career opportunity. Basically, those words got used a lot or thrown around, and basically, kind of. And now she is just panicked. Shock would probably be the best word you would use. Like, this is very definitely you've seen this kind of reaction from people who have woken up and discovered that their arm is gone. That level of shock.
Why are you quarantined, Comiskey?
Was working with. There's a long pause. With one of the infected, right? And in the quarantine lab. Yes, and we wanted obviously to keep that secure, so that was locked down, and so I was working in there when the emergency lockdown happened.
I see.
Who else is in there with you?
Long pause. A test subject. Hang on, give me a second. As you can hear her kind of rattling around and then kind of basically grabbing a clipboard. Oh, Michael Drapers. Yes, Michael Drapers is was with us here. He is no longer.
Was?
Yes. He has died.
So you're the only living person in the room?
Another long pause. Yes.
Would Sunny recognize the subject's name? Would this trigger anything for Sunny?
You are aware that this person worked you probably crossed paths with them at least once. It's a small colony.
Okay.
You probably they are not a lab technician or anything like that. They were not infected when you left. They are just a random, they are kind of just a random roughneck that worked here.
Do any of the rest of the party know this person personally, or is it the same?
At varying levels. Morgan has probably worked with them a couple of times. Basically, Janice will actually. Janice, if you look at Janice, she'll rattle off a list of basically his good qualities and bad qualities, and basically any demerits he's received recently, and then just kind of shrug and go, "My job." Do I know him personally? No, I don't have a clue about the guy. He was a fairly decent worker, complained a lot, drank a little bit too much after hours, tended to stick his noses in places he shouldn't. I mean, I'd probably take him over several of you in some circumstances, but sounds like I don't get to make that choice anymore. In any case, basically do we need to just go rescue Kavitsky here,
Yeah,
or do we just leave her
we
stuck
need to
in the
figure
lab?
out how to get through this door. It's locked.
Speaking of which,
Does
actually,
Comtech...
she actually says, "Wait a second." She goes over to Reynolds' body and goes, "Wait a second here. Do we even need that stupid son of?" And basically, she kind of fishes around the body a little bit, and you see her pull something away from Reynolds' neck. And it's
Gross.
obviously a square kind of key card thing, which is soaked in blood and other things. And you see her gag a little. That's a stress level. As she wipes it clear, and then she starts swearing. And kind of just tosses it to the ground. Broken,
What
useless.
the heck?
Whatever happened to her crushed this too. Like, what the heck? These things were supposed to be indestructible, they told us. They're supposed to survive anything that can happen to them on a colony. That's the point. If they break, what?
Yeah, newsflash, they
beginning-
told us a lot.
I'm beginning to think that they weren't ready for whatever is happening here.
What? I
Really?
don't. What the heck is good? Is there revolt? She actually will glance briefly at Hollywood. Did you guys? He's like, we are not capable in any sort of any behavior that would endanger. Oh, sure, that's what you all say. Fine. This is. And she kind of kicks at it again, like dipped in acid or something. Heck. Did you say acid? Comes the voice on the other end. What's dipped in acid?
From Comiskey?
From Kaminsky.
We thought we had a key card, but it's non-functional.
Reynolds' keycard is non-functional?
That's correct.
Is this having to do with the reason why she's all tied up?
I
To be
believe
fair.
the phrase was wrapped up,
Thank you, Hannah.
but yes, it does have to do with that.
Are you having to restrain her? The voice has taken a more serious note.
She's deceased.
Catch you later, Has-Been Wizards. Thanks for stopping by. How recently?
Well, I'm trying to get to the lab to figure that out.
Would we
Is
be
there
able
great-
to
Melon
tell?
too bad.
Is there great trauma to the chest area?
There's trauma to a lot of things.
Chest and face, yeah.
It's actually
Data
mostly
point
just
of one, but I'm traumatized from looking at it.
it's mostly
You're
to
not
the
the only
it's
one.
mostly to the face and neck.
Face and neck, sorry.
Okay. Sonny, could you do me a just a weird favor? Just push on the stomach a little bit, abdomen area. I just need you to check for any foreign objects that might be lodged there. You know, there's all those parasites going around, and we wouldn't want you carrying one of those bodies around. Yeah, just in case.
Would so since Sunny works in the lab, how much more would Sunny know about what's going on than everyone else in the party?
To answer your question, before you left, you knew that there was a lot of activity in the lab around the parasites, but you were forbidden. You were kind of you were not the obvious choice to go on this random weird tractor mission, and you kind of suspect that part of it was due to the fact that you had started asking a little bit too many questions about what was going on in the med labs that you had been kind of evicted from.
Mhm.
So you know that there's something weird going on with the parasites.
Okay. I'll tell you what, Kaminsky. If we're going to do that, if we're going to start messing with the body, I want to do it in a clean setting. Can you get us into the lab in any way?
Oh, you're outside the command area, are you?
Yeah, we're locked out.
Give me, huh. Well, I've got a key card right here. Real helpful. Give me a second. She basically hear her kind of basically fumbling through some things. So she is, basically she is going to assist you, and you basically, which will give you a +1 modifier on your, basically on your die, basically to take it from hard to demanding, essentially, to open the door on the context roll.
Okay.
If anyone else has a context skill above 0.
I have one.
Okay. You can
Like literally
also,
one.
yeah, you could also assist, which means you will give, you can give Sunny an additional +1.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so I changed my comtech to what now? So is it 4 or 5? I'm at 3 to start.
you will basically, you are getting an additional 2 from, one from Comiskey and 1 from Hannah.
Okay. So I have rolled.
And you have come up all blank. So, would you like to push? You can. You also have to roll stress as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll roll stress.
Okay. You're a little frustrated. Basically, it's a little annoying the fact that this is going on, and basically Comiskey's rambling and basically rambling kind of help isn't helping, but
In my lab, nonetheless.
uh-huh.
I mean, she thinks it's her lab.
Which is where you want to be right now and where you can't get.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and give me
Is there another
roll.
lab or another place we could go where you could do some research on this?
The only other lab you're aware of is the geology lab. Not particularly useful. The morgue is also on the other side of the store.
Well, it's on the same side of the door. So,
Excuse me.
damn it.
You can add another stress and roll again.
So I would be up to stress 3 or 4 now.
I believe 4, basically panicked, basically rolling panicked means that you added 1.
Okay.
And then basically then rolling again will add another 1 on top of that. It should have already added the 1 for panic
Right.
when you clicked roll panic, so.
Okay. Actually, it
Well,
didn't.
I don't know if you want to get more
Okay.
stressed.
Hannah will double check the motion tracker. Has the being in motion on the other side of this door moved, gotten closer, gotten far away, stayed in the same spot?
It has pretty much continued its kind of restless stirring. It is not basically the It has not seemingly moved in any particular direction. The one that was in the administration office, it seems to have gone back to its odd behavior. Another corner, and there's kind of a back and forth going on
Okay.
in that, so basically
Hannah
to the
communicates
northwest.
this to the group.
Yeah, the command quarters are probably the one area which is the most soundproof, because they actually spent some money on those modules.
Are you
Hmm.
implying that in space no one can hear you scream?
High five, Luna.
Might be a fan.
Hallrod will basically volunteer to take your place, if you wish someone else to make the attempt.
That would
Yeah.
be wonderful.
Okay.
By the way, are androids strong enough to like break these doors open?
He basically kind of looks at the door, and eventually, yes.
Eventually.
If you are
Define eventually.
it would not be a quiet process.
Well,
Anything,
don't
any,
take
anyone in the area would most likely be know the fact that the situation was occurring. Also, I would prefer to try this way first, rather than
I
damage
concur.
company property possibly unnecessarily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I concur that we should try the quiet way first.
Okay. Is this roll?
So you
this
know
rolls
what?
straight up. That's not what I wanted to do.
I do have a cutting torch.
He will give it an attempt. Basically with the aid of the other two. Wow. Okay.
I thought all these dice were rolling blank because of like a graphical error. These are
Nope.
just actually blank.
They're blank on all but one side.
Oh
Ah.
dear.
Two sides in the case of the stressed ones.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
He steps back frustrated. And after that really much, you just kind of
I can cut into it.
Yeah, do hold on, brain. Sunny and Hannah with their comtech understand where the lock mechanism is. Can we direct Hirsch where to cut?
after this many attempts, yes.
Okay. I say cut it open.
I'm
What do
fine
you
with
think,
that.
Liquor?
Okay.
Do I consume power as a part of using it, or?
One second. Let me pull up the cutting torch really briefly.
Oops.
Cutting torch. Heavy
Really?
machinery is what it is. You need to make a power supply roll after every use. It starts with a level of 5, and then every time you use it, basically you have to make a basically. So you rolled the cutting torch. Basically, you managed to get a success. Didn't roll any panic. Congratulations. So yes, you're
Yay.
able to basically kind of quickly cut through the lock and disengage it.
Okay.
The light goes from red to
And-
basically flickering kind of on and off crazily, and then just off.
And then I need to do a power roll.
Yep.
Dang it. That's not what I meant to do. Sorry. I'm just trying to open the thing.
You roll all the 6s.
I don't know how to. How do I do the power roll?
Let me check. Does it actually have a... Yep. There we go. There.
Uh,
Clicking on the number under power will do it. Success
okay.
basically
I
for
see.
yeah.
So that means that I'm down to what? Oh, I see. So I'm down to power. I'm not sure what that means, but we're good. It's open. That's the important bit.
Yeah. I'll double check that and get back to you. But you are
That's fine.
essentially you have opened the door, or rather, the door is now unlocked. Rather.
Thanks, Hirsch.
So let's click it. Boom. Let's go.
I'm glad
Now,
at least
before we
somebody
go in,
Shove it
got
open.
that
Yeah.
Hannah will look and see if there's a reaction from the motion in the room.
done. Not currently.
It's still just kind of
Yep.
pacing restlessly.
Yep.
Okay. So, and it's still about 17 meters away.
A little bit closer now that you've moved this way, but yes.
Okay. So, we'll say 16 meters. So Hannah says there's someone or something in motion 17 meters that way, and she'll point the correct direction, which I think is off to the left from the doorway. Is that correct?
Correct. For those who
Um,
are interested, mobility is what is used for stealth.
Roger that.
so
If you wish to
She
get
will
by
then put the-
something that is not actively hunting you, you will use mobility.
So then Hannah will put away the motion tracker and put two hands on her weapon.
Okay.
Let's slip in. Super stealthy.
So I just click on mobility.
Okay, so who is going in first is the question. Let's actually do this. Let's
I
actually
think
do this in order.
Hollyrod,
Yes.
Hollyrod should go in first.
Okay.
I'll push the door open and then watch them go in.
Okay.
And then I'll go in too with weapon raised.
Yeah.
Roll stress.
So basically, on your character sheet, basically where there's the plus and minus buttons where you increase stress, the word stress itself can be clicked on. Click on it. You're fine. You're keeping it together.
Okay.
So basically, lights are kind
Do
of
I-
flicker. Good. Yep.
Do I add one to stress or no?
Let me double check the rules. I thought it was doing it automatically, but the fact that it's not.
It didn't
didn't
seem
ch-
to for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't change, so I'm double checking.
Stress and panic. If there's more than one on your stress die, you must make a panic roll. Okay. It's only if the stress level you roll ends up telling you to add it that you need to. Okay.
Okay.
So you're fine. Fine.
Okay, good.
Okay. So basically, Hollyrod kind of steps in and then steps back almost immediately. And you will note
Okay.
that he will basically kind of, in a very low whisper, there is a figure of some sort in the next room.
Like humanoid figure or
Person?
Humanoid is stretching the definition.
Ooh,
oh god.
gross.
You- all of you can basically hear now that the door is open this kind of scrape click,
Oh, God.
scrape click.
No.
Got that
Not
torch
good.
ready, Hirsch?
Right here. Never put it down.
That's my boy.
I'm sorry, or what? Basically, Janice has pulled her gun out and is like, so are we just going to open fire on whatever it is? Or does somebody know what this
Seems
is?
like the. Well, let's go take a peek. But I'd be ready to if I were
Hannah
you.
looks at Hollyrod and says, "Have you ever seen anything like this before?"
No, ma'am. But that's all the response you get is just no.
I don't like this. uh,
Let's kick
from this doorway,
Mm-hmm.
obviously Hannah is not speaking this aloud. This is me. How far away is the lab entrance?
Decently far. It's through another series of doors. If you want an actual, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry, come back here. Morgan goes for a brief ride. It is about 16 meters to the intersection, then 14 meters to the next door. That connects the command crew quarters to the actual command and basically command and med lab area. Then there's essentially an airlock between the two of them, and then the actual command ops center.
Hey, Holroyd. Random question for you. About how tall would you say this figure is?
And he kind of stops and kind of seems to be kind of ticking through things in his head. Taller than an average human.
Damn. That's what I was afraid of. Thank you, Holroyd.
Do any of you have any ideas about a distraction of some kind? Because I don't have anything we could use for that.
I still have the comm thing. Couldn't we just play the messages, like throw it and play the messages or something and make a noise to distract it?
It's not a bad idea, but we're losing a communication device. Potentially.
Yeah, but it's not like she gave us anything useful to work with.
That's fair.
I will slowly, quietly drop the body to the floor.
Okay.
That I've been carrying around.
Okay. Everybody give me one last action before you basically give me one last action. Otherwise, things are going to start happening.
Raise the cutting torch.
I'm going to hang behind everyone else a little bit, very interested in what's about to happen.
My weapon's already up.
Okay. Was anyone basically so? No one is actually doing the basically so. You'll hear the scrape clicking will kind of come to a stop, and there'll be kind of a rattling, hissing noise. And then the scrape clicking,
Like it.
then the scrape clicking noises will start to get a little bit louder.
Can we close the door?
Yes, but no
Nah.
longer locks.
Let's take it on. Let's take it on. Or we could open the door in its face with extreme prejudice.
Ambush attempt?
Scrape, click. Scrape, click. I need actual actions, not conversation. Scrape, click.
Step forward.
I don't know what to
Wait,
do.
Can I step into the doorway?
Sure.
Level the cutting torch. I'm ready to go. Waiting.
Okay.
Waiting.
Iron will step behind you. Step behind you. Janice will be like, "What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?" Basically, he will definitely give Sunny basically a look as she steps, as they step back. Great click, and then this kind of black bulbous shape that is far too spiky but seems to have legs and arms will kind of make its way around the corner and step into what little emergency lighting you have. I don't have to necessarily describe basically to the players what this is, because I think you have a fairly decent idea. Your characters essentially just see a polarized skin, blackened tone, bladed prehensile tail, six-fingered hands with large nails, pronounced ribs, and translucent to opaque, smooth-domed heads. And it's moving somewhat fluidly, and basically that is what you see as it steps around the corner. Any actions?
Light it up.
Are
Yeah.
you okay? So we are entering combat.
What is
It's,
the range? Engage. So I'm gonna have to step up to light it on
Yes.
fire. Okay.
So
How tall is this thing now that I can see it?
have you seen the Alien movie? About that tall. It is slightly taller than humanoid, basically when standing upright. Though it tends to be a
So-
little bit more
Solid 7
hunched
feet tall.
when, it tends to be a little bit more hunched when moving, tail whipping back and forth.
So is it taller than Hirsch and Hollyrod?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
to confirm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
That
At
means
least a
I have
foot.
line of sight to its head over them,
Correct.
I assume. Okay. Beautiful. Perfect.
Okay. I create an encounter. Did they actually set up? Wow, that was a lot of them. Why did you add that many of them? There's only one of them. Thank you. Okay, cool. Okay. All right. So go ahead and if you go basically on the basically into that basically on that basically next to the chat icon, you will see the fact that there is a cross swords icon. Okay, you're not supposed to go ahead and re-roll. Basically, click that. Basically, if you can, re-roll that. Who rolled that second? I think that was
Me.
I am not in the list.
as far as I.
Ooh, you're
Basically,
not in the list.
let me
How do
add you.
how do I roll initiative?
You're now added to the list.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There we go.
There we go.
Huh.
Let me double check something because it is basically in the actual physical game. The actual physical game. This is supposed to be a deck of cards,
Oh.
and
interesting.
so
You can't have the same
you
initiative.
should not have the same initiative. Apparently, they did not actually account for that in the module. So one of the two of you who rolled a 4 basically, we can roll again, but just one of you. Let me know which one you
I
want it to
can't
be.
figure out how to roll again.
I will do it for you. Just let me know which one
Okay.
of it is.
I don't care either way. What do you... Well, now there's a 2.
That's for another character. That's
The-
for
yeah, other character.
Holroyd.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Oh.
So either Hannah or Sunny.
Just... Go ahead. Do
I
it
was
for
gonna.
Hannah.
Rerolling Hannah, just to keep this moving.
I was gonna say, someone with no weapon, I'm fine with a low initiative roll.
Hannah, basically, congratulations. Welcome to the top of the order. All right, so how combat works in Alien RPG. A quick primer. You have a slow action and a fast action, or 2 fast actions. Slow actions are going to be things that you basically, well, as you might suspect, slow actions are things like firing your weapon or actually attacking with a close combat weapon. Is basically our slow weapons. Reloading is a slow action. First aid is a slow action. Stopping panic of somebody else is a slow action. Giving orders is a slow action. Using a signature item to calm yourself, well, basically reduce stress is a slow action. Fast actions are things like run. Basically, you can only run if nothing is engaged with you, which means you're next to something is what engaged range essentially means. Move through a door or hatch is a fast action. Get up is a fast action. Drawing a weapon is a fast action. Block attack, pick up item, grapple, things like that are fast actions. Using an item is a fast action. So aiming, by the way, is a fast action. Aiming gives you a +2 bonus on a ranged attack.
Oh.
Basically, in terms of ranges for weapons, if you are at engaged range, it is harder to hit because that thing is moving around and dodging around, and it's hard because you're hard to draw a bead on something that close. You're at a -3 if you're engaged with something for a ranged weapon. Otherwise, short range is the base. In case you're wondering what ranges are, short is a few meters away. Medium is 25 meters. So everything in this combat is likely to be short unless somebody books it.
The opposite direction.
There are no things like attacks of opportunities and things like that. Oh, that's why he got. Oh, right. I just remembered something.
Uh-oh.
Hey, what's one of the known things about aliens? If you answered they're quick, congrats. That means they get multiple attacks in a single. They get multiple actions in a single round, which is why it
They go out a
added.
couple different times.
Which is why they added. You do not get to do that. Reroll.
You can just move down to 3. That's the next available slot.
I'll have to double check that. It may be that you can have multiple values. I'll have to double check that because otherwise it's good. So there you go. Hannah, you are up. So, slow action and a fast action, or 2 fast actions. You already have your weapon out.
Well, I want to shoot at it, and I would
Okay.
like to aim.
Okay, so fast action, aim. Slow action, fire. So that will give you a plus. Basically, aiming will give you a +2 bonus on your attack.
Okay. So what do I do?
Basically, you are just going to roll. Basically, you have a ranged combat skill.
Yes.
You're going to roll that with the additional bonuses for.
Whoops. I clicked too soon. I haven't added the bonus.
Okay. So. Excuse me.
How many do I get for aiming? +2?
Correct.
Okay. That's the actual roll.
Okay. So basically, you can choose to push if you actually wait. No, you basically you rolled a panic, and I think panic means you cannot push. Let me double check. Um, you cannot push the roll. Instead, you immediately make a panic roll. Okay.
So
Yep.
roll stress.
Yep. Okay. You're fine. You're fine. However, I have bad news. You have apparently, or you are terrible at weapon maintenance. You forgot to check the magazine. You click dry. Basically, the slide locks open after your shot.
Oh no.
You're
Panicking
frickin' kidding
on a
me.
ranged combat means your magazine is empty.
God,
That's not good.
it's not good.
Okay. Polyroid will fast action close and is going to just slam his fists into it. He has no close combat skill, but does have a 7 strength, so that's helpful.
Hopefully it'll hurt it.
Does the system actually have targeting? We'll find out. Slab basically just kind of struggles with it, but does not actually basically manage to sink any blows actually home. Okay. I should actually click begin combat. Thank you. The scout will return the favor. Beast launches basically towards the air, grabbing its victim. Basically base 10 damage, base 10 base dice, damage 1. Hits immediately, drags them into a neighboring zone, dumping them on the floor. Okay. That is 1 success, so Polyrod will take 1 damage. Basically, white milk splattered blood splatters the ground as it basically leaps forward, grabs him, and throws him to the ground beside it. He is now prone. Good news. Clear line of fire for anybody else.
Yay.
Um,
That's not good.
prone. Go. Sunny, you're up.
Well, this is interesting because Sunny has no combat stats whatsoever.
Nice.
But also, if I want to like yell something out to the group, would that be a slow action, fast action?
Basically, unless you are commanding or something like that, it's going to be a fast action.
Okay.
If it doesn't have an
Again,
actual system mechanic effect, then it's just a fast action.
Okay. Yeah, definitely not forcing anybody to do thing, but I'm going to yell out, wait, don't kill it. Let's see if we can just like knock it out or something and get it back to the lab.
Okay. That's 1 fast action. 2nd fast action.
Am I able to use, well, no, because he's a robot or an android, so I can't really use medical aid on him. Is there like some kind of guard or wait or
the answer basically in terms of you can seek cover, essentially getting behind cover in the area.
Okay, I would like to do that, please.
Tip. So you kind of duck behind kind of basically kind of an entry hatch in the wall. And basically kind of press yourself flat into that. Okay. That brings us to Janice. Janice basically gives Sonny a look, kind of basically, the hell's your, fine, I'll use my knockout bullets. Then opens fire. Do damage 3. Okay. Range combat, she will aim and then fire. So aiming will give her +2. Hey, that's a hit.
Oh, thank
Okay.
heaven.
Right?
That's damage. Do. Okay, roll. Okay. Okay. The bullet kind of cracks, basically cracks against its carapace and just kind of pings off. Basically, Janice just kind of starts swearing. And basically, or rather, her swearing kind of increases. Actually, let me double check something really quickly. Bolt gun. Raise weapon, firing bolts like a must be reloaded slow action after every shot. Cool. Oh, it rolled basically. Oh, it's a 3 damage. It rolled 3 dice on that, right? Yeah. So it basically kind of pings shotgun across it. And she starts swearing and then continues to basically starts reloading. Morgan, you're up.
Okay.
He wanted to get into combat.
Fast action, move in.
Mm-hmm.
Slow action.
Close combat.
So I assume this would be a close combat as opposed to a ranged combat
You are correct, sir.
attack.
Okay.
That's the hit, and then I
Yep.
roll damage on the torch. Oh no. Getting that close to it apparently stressed me out.
Um. Double checking
Did
something.
that bump my
Sorry.
stress up by 1 or by 2?
I don't think you necessarily. Let me double check. I don't. Sorry, basically, combat's just a little bit more complicated. So it's actually basically.
Yeah.
While you're prone, just get +2. You have to be engaged, right? Law resolution.
I'm gonna run to the restroom.
For every additional dot you root, you can inflict an additional dot of damage. Basically, so how this game works is a single success is damage, essentially. Basically, you hit. Basically is a success. Any additional successes beyond the first can be used for stunts, essentially bonus actions for that thing. So you're going to inflict the damage. Basically, you're going to inflict the damage rating of your weapon, to it. So basically, you will deal whatever the damage rating for the cunning torch is.
Okay. Which is damage is 3.
Okay, so you will do 3 points of damage, and for each additional success that you rolled, ignore your stress. You didn't actually need to roll that. That was the close combat roll.
Okay.
Basically, you can either choose. For the additional one, you can either choose to do an additional damage, or
Okay.
you can choose to there we go. Just had it, and then I came back to the thing and it left. You can basically outmaneuver your enemy and can trade initiative scores with them, taking effect next round. You can't go back to an earlier initiative. You knock or pull a weapon or something else from the opponents. Not really useful here. You can knock the opponent to the ground, or you can hold your opponent in a grapple.
Let's knock him to the ground, I guess.
Okay, basically you slash at his feet, basically, and so you will do the 3 points of damage. You roll the power supply, you're fine. Basically, panic reduces the power supply on that, basically on that roll. Alien needs to roll armor.
So does this mean that I've consumed
Okay.
2 power off my 5 starting?
No. Unless you actually roll panic, you don't basically, it doesn't drop. Basically, supplies only drop when you roll panic.
Got it.
So you will actually end up basically kind of cutting through its armor.
Yeah, it's an armor piercing. Woohoo.
And basically cut its
Torch is
leg.
armor piercing.
And cut into its leg, causing it to drop to the ground and screech.
Yes.
However, as you do that, basically its blood flies everywhere.
Oh no.
So both basically everyone in engaged range, which means you and Hollyrod, basically this acid splash rating is, oh gosh. Okay. We'll roll that. Amount of damage you inflicted on him was 3, or no, he rolled. You rolled. Actually, you didn't do 3 because its armor was 1, so you did 2. So
no, I'm armor piercing.
Oh, it has an armor piercing trait. Okay,
it does.
All right. In that case, I'll treat it as blank. It's fine. You will take 8 points of damage, and so will Hollyrod as the acid splatters off of it. Basically starts eating through your basically immediately hisses through your clothing and just keeps going through. As a note, it's still burning. You will suffer another attack at basically each round at the start of the round.
Okay.
He takes -1 as well. The alien is knocked prone. The alien will stand up from being prone as its slow action. What is it going to actually do for its fast action? Actually, fast action. Stand up from prone is a fast action, isn't it? Yes, get up is a fast action. Okay. So then it will roll its. Head bite. Okay. Opens its jaws of gnashing. Rolled 2 successes. Base damage causes basically 2 damage. If it causes damage, automatically inflicts crit damage. Okay. So it ends up snapping at you, Morgan, And you are going to take 2 damage
Ooh.
as it basically essentially kind of crushes your arm. Okay. And that's that action. Last action for the round. Basically, as it kind of okay, as it basically as it withdraws its jaws from the bite it just gave you, Morgan. You feel like it's staring at you.
That's not
Basically,
good.
even though it doesn't have eyes, and it basically stares intently at you, and you can feel something, basically something in the back of your brain telling you, "This is bad. This is bad. This is bad," and just starts screaming endlessly on loop. Give me a panic roll and add +1 to your stress.
Do I add the +1 before or after the panic roll?
Before. Okay.
Oops.
Yeah. Basically, as that happens, you
Oh,
immediately
no.
feel that just start to basically just go through your entire spine. And then we're back at the top of the order. Hannah, you're up.
Okay. I'm confused about this weapon
Okay.
that I have. Can we
Mhm.
clarify how many rounds does it hold?
Okay. The answer is basically it holds basically not an infinite number of rounds, but basically it is consumed to hold another basically a number of rounds before basically when you roll panic, then it runs dry. Until then, it just keeps firing.
Okay. So what I'm basically wanting to know is, do I have a magazine of rounds that had one chamber unfilled, or is it completely
You need to spend an
empty?
action to empty, basically eject the magazine, put a new one in. You take a reload action.
Okay. And is that fast or slow?
Sadly, that is slow.
Crap. I don't know what else I would do though. So, okay. Reload the weapon.
Okay.
I don't even know what my fast actions are. I'm
Moving, or basically essentially most of your fast actions involve moving or uh otherwise basically changing the situation, standing up, moving around, going through doors, picking up stuff. You can technically aim at this point and then be ready to fire at the beginning of your next round.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Let's do that. Reload and then take aim again.
Okay. Basically, if you do anything
And
else
then
other than except basically shoot your weapon, you will lose the aim. But basically, as long as the next thing you do is firing, you're fine.
and I get the +2.
Yep.
All right. Okay. I think that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Hollyrod stands up. Basically, kind of basically yells loudly and attempts to kind of grab it and pull it away from Morgan. Close combat. Hey, there we go. Gets a success. What is his damage of just punching things? I have to double check that. Right, unarmed with weapon during melee weapon. Resolution. See page 118. Okay. Unarmed attack. Damage 1. Oof. Okay. He is just slamming into it. Okay.
Mhm.
Boy could certainly use a knife. So roll armor for the. Oof. This kind of uselessly just kind of flails at it, but does manage to get its attention. For better or for worse. Turning it away from. Deadly grab. He lurches to the air as it does the same thing again to him. This time, however, it is much more angry and ferocious in its response, doing 5 damage, dumping him back to the ground. That brings him to 0, which means
We
that
might be out an android after this.
Ah,
Oh yeah.
basically slams him to the ground, and you watch as basically both of his legs bend the wrong direction. And he kind of gives
Oh,
basically kind of an odd, like almost modified scream as basically as both his legs kind of now are useless as he basically can only now crawl. Okay. That brings us to Sunny.
Am I able to, let's see, apply some medical aid to poor Hirsch? I'm currently hiding behind something.
From where you are, no. If you basically
Okay.
basically if you get closer to him, yes. You basically medical aid skill allows you to use first aid.
Okay. So what can I do on this turn then in order to facilitate getting into like healing range?
Fast action move, basically essentially get into engaged range that can move next to him, and then you could roll medical aid skill after that.
Okay. Then that is what I'll do. Hirsch, I'm coming, buddy.
Okay. Go ahead and roll medical aid.
Yep.
Oh, wow, it didn't make the die rolling sound. Okay, 3 successes. Wow, okay. That's great. You seem, basically, to Hirsch's eyes, you seem oddly proficient in being able to patch up these kind of injuries. Basically, you're basically gaining another basically health equal to the number of health on the skill roll. So you will get back those 3.
that's useful.
Okay. That brings us to Janice, who reloads the bolt. And then she is going to start to she makes a comment about these guns. But we need bigger guns. And
A la Jaws, we're gonna need a bigger gun.
We need
Different
a
movie.
lot more guns. I'm going to figure out how far she can move. While I'm doing that, it is Morgan's turn.
All right. Being in my panicked state, how bad is this if I try to continue fighting him?
You can continue fighting. You're just at a basically you have the penalty which it states there, which was you're at a -2 for agility.
Ugh. All right.
Good
Well,
news, I
close
don't.
combat.
Yeah, close combat. Look, I don't think it's agility.
Oh no, that's not good.
No, those are fine. Remember, successes on the
Yeah.
panic dice are just successes.
Oh, they are successes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I
It's
actually
only
have
if
two
there's
successes.
a freaking
The
face
aliens
hugger
are-
on there
yeah.
if we're
Right.
we're in
Okay,
trouble.
so that's
Okay.
a hit.
Okay. So that will be 3 damage
Damage.
plus. But remember, you don't have to roll.
Oh, I don't have to roll damage. That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Right.
So
3. Let's
it
just make
is-
that 5 damage.
how are we making that 5 damage?
Well, you said each success goes up by 1, right?
Well, basically, it is basically base damage, whatever the base damage for the weapon, which is 3
3.
plus 1
Uh-huh.
for the additional. You could use the additional success for plus 1, so that would be 4 damage.
Oh,
Then that basically,
okay,
then
got
it
it.
is,
Oh.
then it rolls its armor, and subtracts any of
well,
its successes against your what
armor
damage.
piercing.
That's right. You have armor piercing, so it doesn't matter. So you're doing 4.
So just take 4 damage.
Okay. I've got good news and bad news for you.
The good
Uh-oh.
news is it's dead. The bad news is it's going to retaliate by
Yeah.
spraying us all.
That's 4 damage right there. So all that went through. So 4.
Oh man.
Oh, no.
Everybody engaged rate takes 2 damage.
So that's
Bam. Whoa.
who?
Wicked.
Anyone who is
Go.
currently face-to-face contact with the android.
Okay. So Hollyroyd, Hirsch, and Sunny.
Correct.
Yeah, I just got pounded.
All right. Ouch.
I'm hurt.
Hope Sunny can continue to heal damage.
Sonny's dead, boo.
Well, you're not dead. You're at 0, which means
Okay.
you are broken. And then you click that roll crit button down at the bottom.
Oh no.
Okay.
Sonny, what are you doing in melee?
Healing you.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
Ruptured aorta. What up?
Oh no.
I'm doing what I
That's-
love.
It's not instantly fatal, but you have
Even though
one round to fix it.
That's not how a ruptured aorta works.
Yeah, right?
As someone who I know I'm applying too much reality to this right now, but okay, game designers, we'll go with that.
My anatomy and pathology education is telling me the same thing.
Yeah, you got about 2 minutes and you're gone.
If that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
If you're not bleeding anywhere else.
one round is literally one action, one basically, which is less than a minute. So yes.
Okay, fair.
Right.
It essentially, basically, you scream it basically as it basically starts burrowing through your chest. Here's the fun question: can you first?
Luna's over here like having a blast and I'm cringing.
Oh, this is how I want to go out. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I love these movies.
Basically,
Oh,
so basically, you go down screaming like that. Janice, by the way, just sprints by you and heads around towards the armory, not stopping.
Smart.
I don't know if anybody else in the area actually has medical aid. Actually, Holroyd does. The
can crawl.
Holroyd's currently broken. But basically, he would literally basically break himself to actually attempt to save you. Medical aid. But he cannot push, so he fails and just kind of collapses on top of you. Janice leaves. You don't have it.
My medical aid is 0, so that means
Yep.
I can't help, right?
same.
Correct.
Same.
Okay. In that case,
Let me double check and
Anna
make
will
sure.
run around the corner toward the medical lab.
Oh, Janice
which
doesn't
you
have it
said
either.
is-
It's fine. Which is down that direction. No, it is basically it is 7:38. Just as a timing note. It is 7:38. So
Yes.
basically, if people wish to basically, this is a stop. This can be a stopping point at this point, or we can keep going up until 8. I believe 8 is our cutoff, correct? Or basically
Yeah.
8 my
That's
time.
my cutoff for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Basically, we have additional characters. Obviously, Luna, if you wish to take over, well, we have some additional characters. Janice is actually still functional. I mean, I guess you could be Holoroid if you wanted to be a malfunctioning broken android with no legs. Or we could call it here, and basically we could pick up at a later point, or pick up with a different situation at a later point. This has been a fairly solid introduction, I think, to Alien.
For
I
real.
love it. I want to do Alien some more.
Rule 1: combat's deadly. Rule 2: the
I love
aliens
it.
are going to murder you.
Today I learned.
Yes.
Today I learned that we may be able to survive against a facehugger, but not against a scout.
I thought it was suspicious that I only had 2 hit points.
I mean, I only have 3, so I'm like, yeah, this place is dangerous.
To be fair, basically,
I have 5 and burned through 3 of them.
You have 2 hit points, which basically normally taking 2 just drops you to 0 and basically kicks you into basically kicks you into broken status, and then you have to roll against the critical injury table, which is a D66 table. Anything above essentially 61 are all pretty much fatal, basically within a round. Basically, ruptured jugular, ruptured aorta, disemboweled, crushed skull, pierced head, and impaled heart. Those last four are just instant fatal. Disemboweled has the effects instant death. Crushed skull, your story ends here. Pierced head, you die immediately. And impaled heart, your heart beats for one last time.
Sick.
So basically, it isn't necessarily. Basically, it can be fatal, but it is not necessarily. It's only a 10% chance of being instantly fatal.
Never tell me the odds.
So here's the question: what are the odds that a party could win this game?
The answer is winning you can do, but the answer is you have to get out of the D&D mindset a little.
Yeah.
You can't do the see an enemy, attack an enemy.
No.
Right.
It expects you to be a little bit more like, oh crap, and just run. It basically put things between you and it because these are drones and soldiers and things like that, and they are more likely to give up and go after other prey unless given reason to continue pursuit.
So running from the first motion tracker was a good idea.
Correct.
Is what you're saying.
The first motion tracker was just a facehugger, but yes.
I figured, but because can the scouts even fit in the vent? You don't have to answer that, because, yeah, but
I mean,
that was my thought process.
The answer is, in an actual air conditioning vent, no. In future sci-fi movie vents, yes, but just barely, and just enough to be panic-inducing to anyone else, to the people who can fit in and move through levels of vent sizes.
Yeah, I don't blame certain other people for not wanting to play because
claustrophobic situations.
The non-horror fan in me does not like the idea. I'm not claustrophobic, but I don't like the idea of trying to put my character into one of those vents. I could see it. I was worried that when we were like, is there a way around this door? That the answer would be, well, yeah, you can climb through the vents.
Yeah. I am claustrophobic, and I have absolutely no problem crawling into an event with my character. That's the beauty of role playing.
That's also fair, but also like cringy 20 over here is like.
Role playing is great. In this scenario, I didn't burn out of medical school. What up?
Yeah.
Take that, Mom.
You instead just burned out your heart and basically hit it somewhere in space.
Nice.
Freaking ruptured aorta is not immediately fatal. That's funny.
One round.
Not quite immediately.
Okay, well, I guess we're leaving this here for tonight, yes?
That
Sounds
feels
like a
like
plan.
that
Yeah,
feels like
this
the
is
right.
fun though. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Same. Yes, even though I was cringing and booty puckered.
So,
It
sorry
was
I
fun.
didn't plan ahead with the background, but at least I finally got the background and I have the mood lighting, the green hue, you know.
Yeah. Nice.
Uh,
Yeah. I
All
didn't
right.
plan on a costume, so.
It's fine. It's fine.
then Luna showed up. I'm like, oh man, I got to do something.
I know. Luna's like, man, we got to up our game there, Mike.
I take everything too seriously.
I love it. Here
It's
for it.
awesome.
All right,
Sure.
so basically to kind of wrap things up at this point, basically thank you for everyone that is watching, whether you're watching here or on YouTube or at some later future point for some kind of basically video on demand thing. Thank you for sticking through it. This has been a little bit longer of an episode, and basically, but we figured it was appropriate for Halloween to go through a kind of a spooky, scary type game. So basically, the system I was using, we are basically this group as a whole, and me in particular, are basically working on a product called LoreLink, which is the GM toolkit you see here. Basically, it helped me a lot of dealing with all the clicking around, finding the locations. Basically, you could see me. I was going through and I was finding the map, and I put the locations on the map that I need to click to bounce around. That helps with that. I had the characters on there. I forgot to add the other character because this game is so dismissive of that poor Reynolds that they barely give Reynolds any character information. So I didn't remember to create an actual character on the list. Otherwise, I could have looked them up just as easily as I did the other ones. So all that to say, basically, if you are interested at all in LoreLink and things like that, obviously, first of all, basically keep watching here. Basically, we will obviously go through and we will stream multiple games at multiple points. I will stream through how to build through these games. I will stream through playing other things and video games and other things like that. So basically, if you follow here or subscribe on YouTube, you'll get updates and alerts when we go live in case we do other weird things like this one where we will go live on a different day. As time goes forward a little bit, once we actually get out of finishing delivery for our Kickstarter, we will probably be streaming a little bit more on this channel. But using that Kickstarter segue, if you are interested in LoreLink and want to give it a try, we do have late backing available. Basically, our Kickstarter was successful, and we are getting ready to close that out here soon. Like literally, probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks. That was basically late backing will close, and surveys will go out, and early access will be locked down to just those people who have basically either like backed or basically backed us through the Kickstarter. So if you want to get on that, basically do so now. Outside of that, if you want to catch up on our newsletter, which is just a weekly way of getting information from us, we have a newsletter that you can sign up for. Our social media guy isn't here to promise the fact that it only comes out a week, so I will promise in his stead. Basically, it comes out once a month unless there is something really interesting happening, such as a big event on stream, or if we're doing something really interesting like a Kickstarter, or if we're doing something like releasing surveys for basically for backers and things like that. So don't worry, we're not going to spam your inbox if you sign up for that. We have social media. Basically, Blue Sky is currently our number one because all of the others are various shapes of train wrecks. So, hey, if you want to follow us on that one, that is most likely going to be our primary. We will post on the other ones up until the point that the trash fire burns them out and we run from the burning heap. Lastly, if you are interested in this group of people and you want to see them do more crazy things, and you want to see me run, for example, come back here next basically play, not run. Basically, come back here this Friday on the Andromeda Galactic channel. We are basically doing a charity stream for the Extra Life Children's Charity, supporting a children's hospital here in Indianapolis, where part of the Andromeda team is based. And we are raising money to support children, and so you'll be able to catch us and a few other people playing through the Sunless Citadel and 5th Ed D&D, as run by one of our other people. One of our other members are the CTO of Andromeda. I believe CTO is her current title. She has so many hats at any given point. She's basically, one of her hats she's also wearing is game master, and she'll be running the game on Friday for a group of us. If you want to see this group in a more combat heavy situation and see how we handle something you actually can kill, you can show up for that. There will probably be more deaths, and probably most of them will be on the other side. I'm guessing. I don't know. But this group, who can say? All that to say, basically, thanks to all the people. Basically, thanks to Luna, basically Michael and 20. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for thank you for dealing with the slowness and things like that, and being great sports and running through all this. I hope you had a great time. If you have anything you wish to shout out, call out, I know that 20 has her own channel where she plays her own games. I don't know if any of the other of you are currently doing any activities you wish to shout out. 20 has that command right there. Oh, it's the shout out command right there. Awesome. If not, then we will go ahead and wrap this up with 10 minutes to spare. Look at that. We are almost kind of on time. Oh yeah, there's the YouTube, nice. Which this is going out on, which will have if you wish to catch the VOD of this later, it'll be on YouTube for longer than it will be on Twitch, because Amazon somehow doesn't have server space, but Google does. This is one of the many mysteries of life. So
shots fired.
All right. We will catch you all later. Thanks for supporting us, and catch you all later. Good night, all.
Good night.